Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Libra in mid-March 2020. Hello, Libra. How are you guys doing? I hope you are doing well. All right, friends, welcome back to me and you, if you're a returning viewer. Welcome also if you're a first-time viewer. Guys, I was on a little bit of a hiatus a few weeks ago, as many of you know. Mercury retrograde was here, coming in mid-February, just wrapped up on March 10th, and your girl got hit pretty hard. A lot of spiritual awakening happening for me. Just had to disconnect from doing the public YouTube stuff. I just couldn't. I could not do it. And interestingly enough, or maybe not even interestingly enough, but telling is that I actually didn't finish a series that I was recording at the time. I just, totally backed off of tarot and really did some work on myself, did some journaling, did some self-reflection, got a nice little spiritual glow up that I didn't think I needed, but apparently I did. So your girl is back now, Libra, to get back to business. So if you're a returning viewer, you might see something here that's a little odd because I did say this is for mid-March and I meant it. But what you see before you is actually a spread that I typically do for the overall monthly messages with a 6-card spread. Had to condense both readings and put them up here during mid-March because of the timing in which I came back. It just would be too much for me to do a March, a mid-March, and then turn around and do an April, take care of Aries for their birthday season, and then of course still keep on top of personal readings and still go to work and still eat and still find time to enjoy myself because I am a human. I'm not a machine, right? So what you have is a condensed reading today. We're going to take care of that for you right now. Yeah, so I appreciate your patience is basically what I'm saying. Also, I want to express my condolences and my sympathy to anybody who's affected right now with the coronavirus or the COVID-19, whether you are ill or you have a loved one who is ill, or your life is just in all kinds of disarray and chaos because your kids are home or you're out of work and you're in a panic. I encourage people to try their best and be calm in situations like this. Make sure you have a cool, balanced perspective. Get in touch with your needs. Get in touch with what you truly need and want, or need more than you want. We all might want 4 or 5 packages of huge toilet paper. I don't get that whole thing, but that might be what you want. But do you really need that? If you're a person who has a family of 4, are you really going to need that over, let's say, a 2 to 4 week, time period? Make sure that you're being balanced and having proper perspective. Not trying to call anybody out, but it gets kind of crazy the way that people respond to things like this. And I've just never been that type of person. I'm usually cool, calm, and collected 24/7. So to get me riled up, it would have to be something incredible more than this. But that's just my opinion. I'm just going to set that aside and get back to your reading. So let's get into it. Libra, shuffled off camera. That's your main spread there. I'm going to shuffle on camera now for your outcome and your overall energy. Once all of the cards are out and they're lying face up on the table, that is when the reading will begin. The timestamp is in the description box if you want to jump ahead. Also down there, you will find the information you need if you want to get a personal reading with me. If you have any questions before you place an order, go ahead and email me at the same address and I'll answer you as soon as I can. And a new part of this overall intro is that your girl is on Instagram now. I have joined IG as a tarot reader, and you can find me at EmpathicFire Tarot over there on Instagram. I'm going to lay something right about there so you can kind of see it up on the screen if you want to go ahead and jot it down or take a screenshot or whatever it is. And if you want to go over there, you'll see me pull daily oracle cards. Haven't really integrated tarot, but pulling oracle cards and giving my interpretation, what I'm feeling at that moment regarding the card or the energy of the day. It's just something fun to do in addition to doing this stuff here on YouTube. So if you want to jump on there and give me a follow, that would be amazing. Okay. All right, guys, let's get into it. Let's see, excuse me, Libra's outcome for mid-March. Let me see Libra's outcome for mid-March 2020. Please show me. Whoa, that's like 3, and there's no way I'm taking 3. And I like how it fell like right there on this part of my hand. That was kind of cool. Anyway, outcome for Libra, mid-March, please show me. To the ground. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. I don't know why I'm singing to you. I apologize because I'm sure it was a terrible experience to listen to that. But there you go. That's your outcome. We're going to flip what came face down so we can see the entire picture. And let's get into it. Please show me where Libra is in mid-March 2020. Libra in mid-March 2020, please show me. Please show me clearly. Where is Libra in mid-March 2020? Okay. Wow. Sometimes you got to get rough with them. Sometimes you got to be like, listen, stop futzing around and give me what I want. So here we are. Libra, coming into mid-March, you come in with the energy of the Two of Pentacles, eh? What's the matter, Libra? You can't make up your mind? Oh, no. Who'd have thunk? No shade, but that's kind of one of the things that Libras are known for, diplomacy. And often when you have diplomacy or this mind on fairness and equality, or things being equitable between two sides of an issue, or, even if it's, having to decide, what to make for dinner tonight now that, you're on quarantine day 10, whatever it may be, there's often an issue for Libra in oscillation of going back and forth between this or that, this or that, this or that, this or that, right? Do I go this way? Do I go that way? Do I go here? Do I go there? Do I decide this? Do I not decide this? And this Two of Pentacles is hitting right, nail on head in terms of your archetype. Not necessarily this has to be your exact feeling in this moment, but something in your energy or in your atmosphere is, what do I do? How do I do this? What do I decide? What do I not decide? Which option is the better option for me? You know what I mean? And that makes sense. I was just doing Virgo's reading, and you guys are coming in the latter half because I started doing these last week, and I'm working from home now. And so it was a little bit of adjustment for me because, I thought working from home, I'd have more energy. Nope. Or I'd have, better time management. Nope. So these readings are coming out, in a slower pace than normal. But I was just telling Virgo that obviously with everything going on, with this pandemic, or what has been deemed as a pandemic, and how we're all having to, social distance ourselves from each other or alter our daily schedules, and not all of us, but many of us, are having to go through these changes. We do end up being put in spaces of uncertainty or needing to acclimate to the new normal. And that takes, some adjusting to. So you might be dealing with people who have a hard time. If this is not you, it could be someone that you surround yourself with, that you live with, that you work with, what have you. It is a general, so it doesn't have to be Libra exclusively, but I will address it towards Libra because, that's who this video is designed for. So getting used to and making those adjustments are really, it's a challenge, because this Two of Pentacles is weighing up options, and it is trying to decide between two or more things, and which one is more valuable, or which one is more beneficial, which one is pertinent to the situation, which one is going to lead to better opportunities down the line, etc., etc., etc. Now, when I use this deck and when I see this card, I'm often very drawn to how this woman on the card, this woman here, is kind of like, oh, I don't know, and like she's inundated with things that are calling her attention. So she's got these two pentacles plates that are somehow, hovering above her hands. Maybe she's juggling them, right? And then she's got a little boy down there being a little bit of a rascal, and the dog as well. So again, hitting nail on head with what might be the new reality for some of you Libras, spending a lot more time at home, or having the kids at home, having the husband or the wife at home with you, and you're not used to that, or, whatever it is, or just having to, stay at home more than you're used to. Whatever is changing in your environment, because Pentacles can talk about the physical world around us or things that we value, people and relationships that we value. Having this influx or this increase of, I mean, there's a little bit of an irony with this social distancing. Okay, that means everybody that you don't live with or everybody that you're not in close contact with, right? If you have a household of six, a mom, a dad, or a dad and a dad, mom and mom, no discrimination, no gender discrimination here, whatever it is. So you've got two adults and you've got four kids, or three adults live there, maybe grandpa lives there, whatever. Now we all congregate together in one space. Take some adjusting, right? So that's just nail on head with the current events. More to the point, Libra, this is about you possibly struggling with having to make some judgment calls. Because again, I told you this Two of Pentacles is like, what's the best regarding the situation at hand? What's going to be the most beneficial option? What's going to give us the best outcome, right? And I'm getting, they're drilling this word ration into my mind. And it could be, rationing money. Pentacles, right? If you're out of a job for the moment, or somehow your pay is altered, or whatever's going on with your work, Libra, there could be some hard choices that need to be made, or at least some choices to be made. Maybe not hard choices, but maybe hard choices. Okay, because they're like, well, some people have certain costs that other people don't. So for some of you, the judgment is, all right, what streaming service do we cut off in order to save ourselves 10 or 20 bucks a month, right? Or maybe we could get rid of this, okay, maybe we sell the car. If whatever it is, those are kind of hard choices. But then you have like really hard choices because of all the upheaval to the healthcare sector right now. The primary focus is to combat COVID-19 and treat people and get vaccines out there and all that kind of stuff, right? Or some type of cure, whatever it is, right? But if you have a regular doctor visit or regular issues with your health that are not, but you know what I mean? Like some people are regular visitors to the hospital, and I'm not calling this, I'm just giving an example. If it's your story, please apply it. But people are regular visitors to hospitals or urgent care, right? And if those resources are now diverted towards this pandemic, it then causes a new normal or a new situation where judgment calls need to be made, and it's difficult. You know what I mean? So, and if the pharmacy is flooded and, you're just trying to get your prescription filled, but, the line's out the door and whatever it is, there's just something where you're having to compensate and readjust in ways where you are not necessarily feeling accomplished or up to the task, let's say. Because the Two of Pentacles gives me this feeling of, I know I have to, or I know I can do it, but I'm not sure which option is the best. And that oscillation, that, well, this and weighing the pros and cons of both, or weighing the pros and cons of however many choices there are or however many options there are, that can be where Libra starts to spin their wheels like they're in mud, because, the name of the game is to do it, make the decision, go with a certain option that is the most beneficial, that is the most feasible, that is the most affordable, that is the most sustainable, whatever it is. And I'm not gonna lie, this does feel like a very quiet space that this person is in, whether it's you or someone else, I don't know, but this doesn't feel like it's readily expressed. And it's not to the point of like a panic. It's not to the point of like feeling pressurized and, oh my God, my back's up against the wall and I got to make a choice and I got to make that choice today. There might be some pressure in terms of time, but maybe not the approach. Okay, you know what it's like? And I'm sure many of us are like this. It's like having a discussion with yourself, but doing it aloud, but you're not like yelling. Like how I'm speaking right now is if I was having a conversation with myself, like the tone of voice. I'm not trying to be argumentative, so my voice isn't really loud, and I'm not whispering because I'm trying to keep things quiet and I don't want people to know what I'm saying. It's not like that. It's like I'm having this normalized conversational tone with myself while I'm recording this video. Translating that to your reading, I feel you're doing the same. I feel you're having a very conversational tone with yourself. You're trying to be practical because, Pentacles can talk about that practicality. You're trying to be measured. Don't want to err too much on the side of irrationality or being overly safe and overly cautious. It's like something like that. You're trying to find that middle ground, let's say. So I think the issue, of course, is again, even when Libra might know what the right choice is, there might be a hesitation to follow through with that choice and actually commit to it. So I'm also getting that there might be a hesitation on your part to actually following through with the decision that you think is best. So let's see how that plays out, because I know there's more to the story than what we're talking about with the Two of Pentacles. So what else is happening for Libra? Please show me. Like there will be a complication. All my readings come with complications. So I'm just waiting to see where it is. So what happens next, please, with Libra's reading? Please show me. All right. So I think in some of your cases, thank you, King of Swords, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, this could be you. I get the sense that in some of your cases, we have a person, could be you, doesn't have to be, who's meant to be the boss, who's meant to be in charge, who's meant to be looked at as the leader or the role model or the person who makes the decisions. And this person is like, I don't know. Because, often I'm looking out across the room right now with this new setup. I'm really focused on the window because the laptop that I'm looking at is like right before me. So I'm really looking out the window as to not bias myself. But the first thing I saw when I looked back down at the board was this King of Swords, and how, look at his face. Oh my God, with this camera, I never know where it is. The lens, there we go. That's what I was laughing at, like his face. Because what did I say before? I'm getting the sense that somebody is like, they don't know what to do or when to do it or how to do it, when to pull the trigger on a decision. And that's what I'm getting with this guy. Like, do I take the lid off now? Should I check the burgers now? Is it too soon? Is it too late? Are they burnt to death? Are they burnt to a crisp? There's like this, I don't know if I should do it. I don't know if I should do it, which is not the typical interpretation of this King of Swords. But, when you read tarot, you go in combination. And in my case, I go with the flow of the energy. So what I'm seeing is somebody who is normally viewed or normally behaves with a high level of discernment, a high level of being able to make a judgment call and not, make too much about it, is usually very capable and very effective when it comes to making choices or weighing out the options in a situation. Here in combination, Libra, it feels as though someone is delaying or confused or uncertain or simply overwhelmed. Well, maybe not overwhelmed. No, they want me to take that back. Not overwhelmed. Maybe just confused or maybe they're tired. They're just like not as capable as they normally would be when it comes to making these judgment calls. The King of Swords is normally very logical, very rational, is a great communicator, is somebody who knows their own mind, has a very strong sense of their morals. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Of their morals. Okay. They're letting me know morals is a big factor here. And someone might feel morally compromised. Wow, that's big. That's big. Okay. They're just putting a pin in that. We might pick that up later. So in some of your cases, the morals of the story are kind of up in the air here, or the way someone is approaching or considering their moral compass is the nooks and crannies of this, so to speak. But where someone might normally be confident, they're less confident. Where someone might feel normally their mind and their logic is the way to go, thank you. They might be thinking, maybe I'm overthinking this. Maybe I'm being too rational. Maybe I'm, being too, black and white about this, not allowing for a gray area, something like that. This person is questioning themselves ultimately. They're questioning the way that they were before or the way that they were in the circumstances, whether it be 2 weeks ago or 2 years ago, whenever it was. But in this moment now, whether it's dealing with what's going on globally, dealing with the impact of the current events, or if it's not even anything to do with that, because I'm getting the sense that this could be a domestic situation between friends or family, people that you're close to, that you love, or this could even just be an internal thing, just a personal development thing where, maybe this person has spent a good amount of their life being sort of cutthroat and being sort of that person who, when they make a decision, they don't second guess themselves, or they don't, go back and alter what they've decided. Once they say, I'm going with option A to the grave, baby, that could be this person. But now I get the sense of their thinking, is it always right to be so fedstast or fedst? Oh my God. Is it always right to be so like, just like, not solid, that's not the word. What is the word? Steadfast was the word I wanted to say earlier, but I'm not sure that that is exactly the word. I think this person, basically, is there ever a time where it's a good idea to go back and rethink something, or reconsider a decision, or reconsider a path, or reconsider what they've done, or what they've done so far? Let's say it that way, what they've done so far. Okay. So there are times where, and that makes sense. That's called adaptability. That's called thinking outside of the box. That's called being, to me, common sense. If you make a decision to do anything, right? And as you go down that path, you're committed to the task, you're committed to the goal, you're committed to whatever you said you were going to do, right? And as you go and you progress down this road, you're finding it difficult. It's not working out the way you wanted. You're seeing results, or you're seeing feedback that isn't necessarily congruent with what you were hoping with. You might be dissatisfied. You might be dismayed or hurt by what's going on around you. This is going to play in so many different ways for you guys. But you're committed to the goal. You're committed to the commitment. Okay. This person is struggling with being committed to the commitment, even though the commitment isn't working out the way they want. Okay, there we go. So let's say, just to keep it in line with the artwork, because that's going to play in so many ways, and I'm not exactly sure which is strongest just yet. But okay, clearly this King of Swords decided to put on a barbecue, right? And he committed to, let's say, putting on the hot dogs before the skewers that's in his hand, because that doesn't look like it's cooked yet. Yeah, it doesn't look cooked to me. Is it cooked? Let me see. Oh, maybe it is. But whatever. Let's say he put on hot dogs before he put on skewers. And let's say on those skewers is steak. Steak takes way longer to cook on a grill than a hot dog. In my opinion, I'm not a huge griller, but I think I'd be pretty correct in my assertion of that. So this person put on the hot dogs before the skewers. And the skewers are actually meant to be the appetizers, right? The thing that gets people really going. There aren't that many skewers. Kids don't eat skewers. Skewers are really, or kebabs or whatever you want to call them. Skewers are really for adults. And so it's like this person is like, oh man, maybe I should have put the skewers on first and then done the hot dogs, because they cook so much faster. And by the time that the skewers were done, it's just like they're like, oh, maybe I should have done it this other way. However, instead of altering their plan of, say, I don't know, taking some of the hot dogs off and putting one or two skewers on just to, kind of split the difference, right? This person just says, okay, well, the hot dogs are on the grill. They're just going to stay there. They'll cook fairly quickly. The kids will be satisfied, blah, 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 blah. So it's not the biggest deal, and I'm just really going off of the artwork. But I hope you can follow me, that this person, instead of altering their plan or thinking outside the box and considering another way to get their job done, the job that they want to do, the commitment that they have committed themselves to is, I want to throw a banging barbecue. I want people to come over and eat at my house and enjoy themselves and have a great time. Now, the adults might not get, hey, Bob, where's the skewers? Where's the kebabs? I came for the kebabs, Bob. And this person's like, give me like 15 minutes, or give me 10 minutes versus, saying, oh, I'll throw on a couple of skewers right now. That way, instead of 15 minutes, maybe it's like, 8 minutes or something like that. You know what I mean? So this person isn't the best at this moment of thinking on their feet, of changing direction, of having adaptability. And that's not normal for the King of Swords. I don't care what their sign is or anything like that. The energy of this card in tarot is normally so capable of adaptive thinking. Well, see, they're correcting me. They're like, well, Jay, sometimes there is rigidity with the King of Swords. So there we go. That's why this is happening. There is a certain rigidity to this person that might exist in them that you or they may not have known of or may have never really conceptualized in a certain way. Interesting. Oh man, that was nice. They came through with like, by the way, remember that the King of Swords can be rigid. Yes, that's true. Okay, that makes sense then. Because I was just like, master of communication, master of thought. And when you truly master your thoughts should be nimble. However, sometimes you get a little stiff in the way you're thinking. So that's what that feels like. This person is a little stuck on, when they commit to something, I'm committed to it, even though it might not be going to plan, or even though more to the point, even though it might not be satisfactory or beneficial to me. Now, what else happens? Okay, so somebody knows that's the case, but well, okay. Oh, girl and guy, I see it, and I'm really in. Some of you, this is you, Libra. Some of you, it's someone else. I feel this is like one of the rare, like almost 50-50 shots here, where I'm not feeling strongly. This is directly for Libra. This is someone you're dealing with. This is a family member. This is a friend. This is your husband, your wife, your live-in, your long-term, your short-term, whatever. But whoever this is, King of Swords, Two of Pentacles, they are caught up. And I think they're going to choose. Let's say it this way. Because the Two of Pentacles is below the King of Swords. So the choice is upon them. The choice is theirs alone. Nobody else's. They have a choice. They can live one way or they can live another way. Is that correct? Yes, thank you. They're like, okay. So they can live one way or they can live another way. Here's where the morals come back in. Here and here. And I'm not saying that the choice is between living morally or amorally. No. But what we have here is dedication to, yes, and not wanting it. Thank you. Okay. Hierophant. Yeah. Major Arcana for Taurus. Could be dealing with a Taurus, but you don't have to be. Libra, this is that fidelity, that commitment, that prescriptive way of living, of working, of operating in life. And it's, in traditional tarot, you'll see a priest-like figure in many decks on this card. Here we see a more modern depiction of what that might be, a television set, a body, an entity, a figure that informs the masses. In way back when, that was the church. I mean, it still is, the church is still very effective in that way and still very influential in that way. But you can equate them. So whether it be an old time priest or the television set, the media that we have right now informs us what to do, how to be, how to live, right? What is decorum? What is acceptable in a society? What is not acceptable in a society? What is proper? What is um, you know, copacetic or respectful of others in our society, in our culture, etc., 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 right? The Hierophant embodies all of that. And the Hierophant signifies to us that we either agree with that prescription or we don't. And it's not so black and white. It's not to say if you disagree with some tenets or some facet of whatever society or a government or a church or a family dynamic says is acceptable, doesn't mean you throw the whole thing out, doesn't mean you walk away or abandon ship, so to speak. But the tone I'm getting is whoever is over here, King of Swords, Two of Pentacles, they have to decide whether a prescriptive way, uh, a way that has basically this general outline, this step-by-step thing, they have to decide if that is their bag or not, essentially. I get the sense of, in some of the cases, because the Hierophant also, again, going way back to, not going way back, but referring to the imagery that's typical on the Hierophant card of priesthood or someone in a religious position of leadership, can indicate a marriage. So someone might be deciding, do I really want to be married? This could be an engaged person. Someone may have asked you, Libra, do you want to get married? And you're kind of like, I'll get back to you on that. Or you may have said yes, but on the inside now you're like, oh man, did I mean that? Should I have said that? Or the reverse. I said no, but did I really mean no? There's a questioning going on of, do you want to be tied to, conscribed to, is that the word? Conscripted? Something like that. Do you want to be in partnership with whatever the Hierophant represents? Could represent a corporation. Some of you might have, in this time that maybe you're working from home or you've been laid off, or you've been deemed essential and you're going to work every day wearing your mask, I was out yesterday shopping, and I saw people wearing not rubber gloves, but surgical gloves, or and while they're shopping. Do you want to, in terms of working, going back to that, do you want to work for a particular corporation that may or may not be helpful or impactful to the current crisis, right? Maybe you work for a company that produces whatever it is. There's a question of, do I want to? Is this right for me? And we were talking about that over here. Is this right for me? Two of Pentacles. Is this the right decision to make? Is it beneficial in the long run for me? Or is there another option, right? And I told you in the scenario with the barbecue with Mr. King of Swords here, and it doesn't have to be a male, it could be a female that we're talking about. This person may have already committed themselves to something. But now they're like, months down the line, years down the line, days or weeks down the line. I don't know if I want to do this anymore. Or is this really working out the way that I wanted to? Because I had certain things promised to me, or I had certain goals in mind, or certain things in mind that I wanted to accomplish, and it's just not happening. Whatever. There's a question mark over this Hierophant card, which in some ways undermines the Hierophant card or the energy of the Hierophant, because there is not supposed to be, quote unquote, not supposed to be any questioning of the Hierophant. Again, the Hierophant archetypally requires obedience, requires you or anyone else to get in line with and get in step with and sort of, for lack of a better phrase, drink the Kool-Aid, okay? And if oh God, I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole, but drinking the Kool-Aid is not always the best move, okay? Yeah, okay. I have issues with drinking the Kool-Aid. I don't like the concept. It just creeps me out for whatever. Not going to go down that rabbit hole. So someone's questioning, yes or no, yes or no. Do I remain where I am, or do I take this Do I walk down this path? Do I say yes to this commitment? Do I renege on this commitment? Or do I drop this completely? Whatever it is. The questioning comes from the Eight of Cups. Somebody is like exhausted, possibly by thinking about this situation. A lot of thought from the King of Swords. That still remains, because the swords, again, is that air sign energy of thought, of rationale, of puzzling through a situation, yeah? So someone is exhausted from even thinking about this, let alone this being cups, more to the point, feeling about this situation, of being emotionally wrapped up in it or emotionally invested in it, or having their emotions sort of, be very kind of melancholy about it, apathetic, like, oh, well, it doesn't really matter, and that is, a huge thing, that's almost like an existential crisis. Like, well, what's the point anyway? What is happiness? What is true happiness anyway? In terms of like, I'm feeling that more specifically for people who this is a struggle over your career path and, working with a certain corporation or even a person, because this could be in the form of just a single individual, by the way, the Hierophant. The Hierophant can be a boss, can be your spouse, can be someone you look up to, or a leader in your community space, right? Could be the leader of a congregation, could be the leader of a prayer circle if it's non-denominational. This could be one intense yogi, you know what I mean? And they might, be kind of adamant. You have to do these practices. You have to meditate this way. I've never, there might be some people out there who are like, you must meditate this way in order to do XYZ, in order to reach XYZ. Me personally, I find meditation to be very personal. Same way I think that, religious beliefs are super personal. You tailor it to the way that you are. My meditations, totally different than any other person. But you might have someone who says, it's got to be 30 minutes. It's got to be set to this type of music, this frequency. And if it's not that, you're doing it wrong. Okay, exhausting to have to do that. If you're, let's say, a single parent or somebody who works 60 hours a week, you want me to meditate for 30 minutes and it has to be this megahertz? The music I listen to has to be this megahertz? Are you crazy? Like, what are you talking about? So just as an example. So this Eight of Cups signals to me that way back over here, King of Swords is just not emotionally happy where they are, or they're not emotionally fulfilled or enthralled or invigorated or even invested, thank you, with what is being presented by the Hierophant. Or they're thinking, that's the draw of the Hierophant. When you get into the Hierophant energy, this is kind of a deep reading for you, Libra. When you get into the energy of the Hierophant, like I said before, you're talking about an entity or a very powerful, very commanding presence. Again, with this modern depiction of the television set, or what we might now deem to be social media. Social media has the power to make or break a person in some form or fashion, whether we're talking about a celebrity or even a private citizen. How many stories have come out, and rightly so, where you've got people in public service, like police officers or firemen or whatever, and they go on their personal Twitter or their personal Facebook and they defame a certain group of people. At least I've seen those stories pop up, right? That is the power of social media. A private citizen who is in service, to a community, but they express their opinions, what they believe is privately or securely, and then social media goes to task on that person and destroys their career. They're immediately fired. They tweet at 6 p.m. yesterday, they are fired at 10 a.m. the next day, because social media overnight said, you know what you're saying, what you're doing is not in line with what the community, what the society deems to be appropriate, acceptable. You are now ousted. So knowing that the Hierophant, whether it be social media, an individual, a boss, someone in your family, whatever, knowing the sway, the power, the pull of the Hierophant might have the King of Swords, for lack of a better phrase, running scared. So instead of going up against the Goliath, I'm going to go in line with the Goliath, even though it makes me unhappy, even though I'm not emotionally satisfied. So that's option one. Remember, I told you, this person has to choose. They will choose. I don't know what they're going to choose because every person is different and everybody has free will. But the second option is this one in the middle. So you got the High Priestess. Secondary major arcana for Cancer. You could be dealing with a Cancer, but you don't have to be. So just as powerful. And, when you think about it, it's the counterpart really to the Hierophant. This is 4, this is 5. So they're in sequence with each other. Normally, well, not normally, but several times in the major arcanas, the cards that go in sequence with each other are also partnered with each other. So the 4 and the 5, they're partners. Same way, what is it? 2 and 3, Emperor and Empress, right? They're in partnership. 0 and 1, I think Fool and the Magician, they are often partners as well. So High Priestess, just as powerful. I mean, you could, in terms of the esoteric or the metaphysical, more powerful than the Hierophant in some cases, depending on how you think of it. So this High Priestess talks about an intuitive space, a space that speaks to someone making decisions or drawing insight and conclusions from an internal space, an internal truth, right? Where they might follow more. Yes, thank you. That's how we have to talk about this. Thank you. So the Hierophant is this external force. The High Priestess is an internal force. It's a private force. It belongs to the individual. Even though she exists for all of us, I'm only saying she because it's, priestess and a female. And truly the High Priestess to me is a cosmic being or a cosmic concept or whatever you think of. It's not an actual person, right? But this is universal. However, it's also very personal. This is just external and not personal, but it personalizes or it dictates to persons. I hope you're able to get what I'm saying here. So the High Priestess is available to all of us, but we all don't get in contact with her or recognize what that feeling is or what that inclination is, what that instinct or intuition is, but it exists. King of Swords is between these two, so to speak. High Priestess encourages you to act in your own behest, even if it seems counterintuitive or counterproductive in the moment. So, another way that we could, quickly bottle that up is to say, live your truth, live your best life. Things that we toss around and we, send to each other as, motivation. Girl, go out there and live your best life. Okay. That comes from a High Priestess space of fulfill yourself from the inside out, not the outside in, which is more the Hierophant's way. If the outside looks good, you're good, right? So going back to that example I used of people getting burned or people getting ousted through social media, you can have disparaging thoughts and beliefs. The moment you express them outwardly, that's when you get caught. That's when the Hierophant, society, social media, going way back in the day again, priests or the church would get to you. Oh, you're not doing it right on the outside. You have to now pay the penance. You have to now pay the price because other people can see it. The Hierophant, this is a deep one. The Hierophant really doesn't care what you feel on the inside, as long as you feel or exhibit going with the program on the outside. So that's deep. High Priestess is the opposite. Your inside has to be good. Your inside has to come from a place of peace, of tranquility, of love, of, nurturing and self-preservation and all these other kinds of things. Whatever you're doing on the inside, that should be the focus. What goes on the outside, who cares? And I hope you're able to get what I'm saying. So the High Priestess doesn't disparage you so long as you're living truthfully, so long as you're living and moving towards a place of, spiritual integrity. And that's hard because we all have different integrities. Well, maybe it's not. I don't want to philosophize about it because I've thought about this recently, but whatever. Spiritual integrity is what she is encouraging the King of Swords to get in line with. And often your spiritual integrity flies in the face of societal integrity, of cultural integrity or decorum, of familial rules and regulations and expectations. So to plug this whole philosophical thing back into something more mundane, for that King of Swords who has been proposed to, or who is already married, or who is already in a deep commitment in their work, the High Priestess is asking you, is that what you really want? Do you really want to be married to that person if you're already married to them or not? Do you really want to continue to work for a corporation that you know, let's just say you work for a company that you know tests their products on animals, and you're an advocate for animal safety and preservation and, you know, no cruelty to animals, right? And you find out that your company that you've worked for the past 12 years that has, you know, given you the living that you're accustomed to is getting into the business of testing on animals. Do you, quote unquote, divorce from that corporation? What's your spiritual integrity tell you? Right? According to your family, according to society, according to the company that you work for, you got it made. You got great benefits, you got good pay, you take a vacation every once in a while. Culturally speaking, the company is decent to work for. You know, maybe you guys have a wonderful, you know, online presence. Maybe you have other philanthropic endeavors, right? As much as this company is, you know, getting into the business of hurting animals, they're also donating a bunch of money to children in need. Oh my God, what do I do? You know what I mean? And it's a quandary. It's not easy. But on a personal level, the individual level, the High Priestess wants to know, what does your spiritual integrity say? Do you need to work for this company any further? That's that way back here. Okay, what am I going to do? How do I navigate this going forward? So she asked that question. And that's the other thing about the differences between these two. The High Priestess asks questions and lets you decide. You do what you want. The Hierophant doesn't ask questions. It gives orders. It gives it gives declarations, decrees. It tells you. It doesn't ask. It tells you. Okay, so that's the difference. Now, what else does option B entail? Making a goddamn decision. No offense with my language, but like I'm saying that for emphasis. Making a goddamn decision, where over here you're not ready to, or you're weighing out the pros and cons and you're thinking about the long-term benefits. Here's the action point. Two of Swords in reverse. When it's in the upright, it's that delay. I'm not going to, I don't want to, I don't know how to, you know, and just like being stuck in that middle ground, right? And oh, I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't know what I need to decide. Here we know. Thank you. This person knows, if I do go with option B, with this questioning, you know, cosmic being of the High Priestess, I gotta make some choices. I have to make some actual decisions and follow through. There's no working for the company that harms animals when every day I'm posting something on my social media that says we really as humans should be vegan. This is just an example. This is not my personal belief. I'm just using this as an example. The King of Swords is like, hey, we should all be vegan. We should really, you know, abolish any type of privatization of animals. So like no, you know, SeaWorld, zoos, you know, like all that kind of stuff. Like I'm going super extreme here for somebody's, you know, beliefs. Well, if I'm going to say all of that publicly, personally, privately, how I find a living can't be on the backs of animals, or can't be in concert with a corporation that harms animals. It simply can't be. This is a very deep reading. You're being super challenged, Libra, or whoever this is being super challenged. I said it. Sorry to get loud there, but sometimes I forget what I'm talking about. And I said that word earlier, morals, and here we are. We're coming back to it. Someone is being hardcore challenged, morally speaking. What do you believe in morally? Your spiritual integrity. I don't want to say it's on the line, but it is being examined, or you are examining it, or it is being questioned, or you are being pushed to question it. Wow. So you can stay in line with the powers that be and the program as usual with option A, Hierophant, Eight of Cups. It gets the job done. You're successful. You're happy in your marriage. You're happy with your friendship. And this, again, could just be a personal development thing. Maybe you've always been somebody who, like I said, was kind of a hard ass and, no backsies, never, ever reconsidered your opinion on anything. And that does you right. But maybe along the way, you've alienated yourself from people by being so staunch, by being so rigid. Maybe. So then your option B could be to be a little bit more open-minded, to be a little bit more flexible in your thinking and in your ways of expressing your opinions, reevaluating some of the things you have hardcore opinions about, right? That's it. Oh man, you have had a reading. This is exciting for me because I love this type of shit. This is what I think about all the time. So those are the options. This person will choose. They have free will. They're their own individual. They live their own lives. So this person can choose to remain with the Hierophant, protected by the Goliath. That is the Hierophant, society at large, the corporation, the family that you belong in. They love you. They support you so long as you, and that could be another thing. Going back to the aspects of the Hierophant having religious overtones. Maybe in your particular religion that you were brought up in, that you are a faithful member of yourself or a faithful follower of yourself. Maybe they say no such thing as divorce. Never in a million years do we accept in this family any divorces. Period, paragraph. Ooh, look at me channeling my mother. Period, paragraph. That's something my mom used to say a lot. Period, paragraph. And she didn't say it like that, but whatever. And so you can choose to stay there, even though it's emotionally dissatisfying, even though emotionally it's taxing on you and it exhausts you, or it just leaves you unfulfilled. Or you can go and live in your spiritual integrity, which has its cons. Both of these have pros and cons. We discussed that with the Two of Pentacles. Neither of these is better than the other, right? That's why King of Swords is like, I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing. Because option B, you might, as much as you might hope to live in your own truth and live your best life and live in your integrity and follow your heart, follow your guidance, follow your intuition, that could fly in the face of people that you know and love and care for very much, and they might not accept you. There's a feeling here where some of you, or whoever this is, fears biting the hand that fed them, literally, in terms of family. If I do this, my parents will be upset with me. If I do this, my children will be upset, or my parents will be upset with me. Whatever. Yeah? Man. I don't envy you right now, Libra. Not at all. Outcome, as I throw it all over the place, is the Seven of Swords in reverse. Get with it. Man, that's nice. Seven of Swords, I'll show you this upright so you can get a better look at it, is normally about deception and playing the shadows and not, speaking truthfully or acting in an above board type way, in a way with integrity, right? Here we go with it in the reverse. Dropping that facade or dropping those sidestepping actions or inclinations. I really feel yes, thank you, because that might immediately ring to somebody who's watching this. Oh, well, clearly the person's going to go option B. No. A person can still get honest and quote unquote live their truth while choosing option A. Because that's the crux of free will. This is not a perfect world. This is not, heaven on earth. No way. So someone can get real with themselves. I care, going back to this, and this is just an example. I hope you're able to follow me, and I know it's not going to apply to everybody's situation, but this idea of working for a corporation that in one aspect or in a few aspects challenges your personal morals or your personal beliefs towards what is right or wrong, right? Someone could get honest. Yes, this company that I work for, they do some underhanded things, or they do certain they have certain practices that I'm not in line with. However, it's provided me with enough money to secure a family, or secure a house for my family. It's given me the ability to plan for my retirement. This job, I love the people I work with, and maybe the work that you do, or the aspect of your work, because many corporations have many different irons and several different fires. They might have a manufacturing part of their business. They might have a marketing part. Maybe you're in the marketing part of it, or maybe you're in the social engagement part of it, and you have nothing to do with manufacturing. You have nothing to do with development. So the part of the business that might be very satisfactory, even though other parts of the business are not, again, in line with your personal beliefs. So you might come to a full-on acknowledgement of that. When we have the Seven of Swords in reverse, we acknowledge what has been sidestepped. We acknowledge the ways in which we have lied to ourselves or have lived in a lie, right? And we still might go along with it. I'm telling you, this is an option for this person. Whoever they may be, you, someone else, it doesn't matter. Wow. Overall energy, pardon me, is the Eight of Pentacles. I mean, for many of you, this is about your work. Eight of Pentacles is that, dedicated energy of a job well done, being in line with, hard work, extra hours, maybe in some cases studying and becoming an apprentice, or training to become to elevate yourself, to further yourself, and that could be it. Because the other thing about the Eight of Pentacles is about security. We're building up to security, because after the 8 comes the 9 and 10 of Pentacles, and those are like the sweet spots when we talk about the Pentacles suit. So this 8 is, again, I am supporting a family with this job. I am making my parents happy by pursuing this relationship or remaining in this marriage. Or in the case of those where you're married with children, my kids are happy because they live in a stable 2-parent household. And maybe in your personal life, or the personal life of your partner, or whoever it is, they grew up in a single-parent household, or that, for God forbid, they grew up with foster parents, or they were never adopted, whatever. There's a reason to stay the course, and there is also a reason to change the course. Whatever the choice is, it has to do with this eye on the prize that exists in the Eight of Pentacles. What is going to serve me long term? We talked about that with the Two of Pentacles. What is going to get me further along in terms of security, in terms of stability, in terms of financial security and stability? That is on the board. But and what a person decides is their own choice. Oh my God, my congestion. Anyway, Libra, that is your reading for mid-March. If you liked it, please hit the like button down below. If you want to let me know how this resonated in your life, please do so. There's a comment section down there. You can use that. If you want to share this video in your downtime, which I think a lot of us have downtime right now, feel free to do so. And of course, my friends, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Again, if you want a personal, that information is down in the description box. Follow me on IG, EmpathicFire Tarot, 123, EmpathicFire Tarot, over there on Instagram if you want to follow me there. Libra, I will be back soon with your April reading, and then I'm going to come back with your mid-April. I might make some new content here for the channel. If I do, if you're subscribed, you'll be the first to see that. So until then, my friends, thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.